Shawn Jordan, the Savage, back here in the program. He's got Ashley Gooch coming up here in World Series of Fighting 33. How's it been getting this fight put together? Has it been like, hey, here's the opponent, and it's been steady going, and training camp's been easy because you know exactly who it is? Or has it been some back and forth and a little mishap?
It's been back and forth, kind of a pretty good bit. And the dates have changed off and on. It's a lot different than I'm accustomed to. But hey, gotta get a fight. It's almost been a year.
Yeah.
By the time I fight, it'd be a year since I fought. So been itching to get back in there and get it going. The time frames kind of mess up a little bit just because they pull it and push it, and that's always a little complicated. But especially since I'm trying to juggle between training and having my family.
Hold on, you say between pulling and pushing it, like you're right as of right now. You're scheduled to fight October 7th.
Yes.
It was supposed to be later. It was supposed to
be. They never gave me a date. They said they talked about November. They talked about December. They tried to move it. They tried to move it around. For different reasons, and they told me different reasons about waiting and stuff. But it's so hard to plan a training camp around that without a set date. Because again, I live in Baton Rouge. Prairieville now, and I have my children, my wife. I have to deal with that. Or not deal with that. I have responsibilities at home to do, and then to plan a training camp around that without a set date, it makes it a little rough, and then it makes it harder to get a good training camp in all the time.
So were you trained the whole time anyway? You didn't have the exact date yet? You were still in the gym?
I was out with Roy before he fought Derek Lewis. I was helping him for a little while, did stuff, and I was off and on, but I came back home to spend some time with my kids. Because I figured once I got a fight, then I'd be away for training for a couple months,
Right.
It turned out I got about 4.5, 5 weeks to notice, and then that's when I was going to fight. So it didn't. It changed a little bit, So training at home is not training in camp.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still, it's still fine.
So let's go back a little bit. Obviously, you lost to Magomedov back in October of 2015, right?
15, yep.
Right. So it'll be a year, just over a year and a couple of days when you fight.
Yeah, a couple of days, yep.
So you obviously went to free market. There was a situation that you were trying to get away from the UFC, didn't know what was happening. Then World Series of Fighting picks you up. Has it been worth the headache, not knowing when your fight's going to happen? Having it pushed and pulled while being with World Series of Fighting.
Yeah, that no, it's not worth the headache.
Okay.
But standing my ground and not re-signing just to re-sign with the UFC when it came up. It was kind of at that point, and my manager and I had a discussion about it. And I've been doing this for a while, and it's kind of either you want to make money or you don't. When they have, and I'm not being a hater, I'm not saying bad, but you have new kids coming up, coming in making twice what you make just to show up.
Yeah.
And you're heavyweight. Our careers aren't the longest, lasting. So it's kind of either you want to do this for money or you do this for just to be a punching bag.
Right.
And that's kind of where that came up, and that's I guess I hit that fork in the road coming into that Magomedov fight. Who Ruslan's an awesome guy, great guy. He won that fight. I got hurt early in the fight. But and those fights when you take that chance, you have to win.
Yeah.
And then coming off a loss, everyone wants to get you cheap, especially coming off of where I was at in the UFC.
So is the money the same at World Series of Fighting that you were getting at the UFC, or is it better?
Absolutely? It's like half what I was making.
So then, what's the hope you're getting out of this? Then you're going to fight for the UFC or fight for WSOF for like 3 or 4 fights and get your back up again, or
the way it worked out was there was no option. Once I didn't sign my contract when they asked me to, it was no longer on the table.
Oh, okay.
I came off with 3 knockout wins and 2 bonuses. I lost 1 fight and I didn't play ball.
And you know what happens then is because then everybody else hears your story and like, oh, as soon as they give me the offer, I'm just going to sign it because I don't want to end up like, Shawn, where I lose and get dumped.
Yeah, more or less, I was a martyr.
Yeah.
I was coming off a pretty good little streak, and it just nature of the business, I guess, and they want to keep control.
Yeah, well, Now, though, with the new owners and everything else that's happened since then, it's going to be a different format up there. But who knows how it's going to happen? Now, World Series of Fighting is also having their own problem where Chael Sonnen has left the UFC, tried to work out a deal with them, it didn't work, signed with Bellator, and they're saying, hey, look, he can't fight for Bellator because he has a contract with us. Of course, your commentating contract is not the same as your fighting contract. So I don't know if they encompassed World Series of Fighting encompassed that contract all in one. So even they've got some hiccups going on in their side of it as well.
Man, the business in this, if you will call it a sport, at this point in time, there's a lot of athletes in the sport, but they treat us more like entertainers than athletes.
Yes.
The sport's grown so fast that the business end of it is still just catching up.
Right.
I mean, they have more control of everything. There's I'm not a big union guy, but as far as athletics go, you need them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the athletes have no power.
So, of course, we also saw Kung Lee and Randy Couture started that format. They've got of course, there's a lot more people on board too, but they're trying to get a union, an association put together for fighters. It's a long way coming. It's going to be a long time, but
absolutely.
With you, it'll probably happen. If it's going to happen, it'll happen after you're done because it takes that long to make things happen. And I'm not saying that you're gonna retire in like 2 years. I'm just saying it takes that long to get something like this put together.
This is one of those things that take years.
Yeah.
To get it to where it's working the way like there was the UFC. And I'm not again. I love fighting for him, whatever. But the way they talk about we're a major sport now. Okay, yes, but the business is nowhere near developed as a football or baseball.
No, not at all. Not even close.
It's controlled by them, not by the fighters. No one else is saying it. They can do what they want.
Interestingly enough, I was out. I'll tell you this: I was out last night for dinner with some other friends of ours, and her parents were in. So Jill and I were out with my friend Alex, and her parents have come in from the mainland, and she's asking me, "Hey, do I know particular fighters?" And she mentions a bunch of them. Like, yeah, I know these guys, and she's like, "Okay, so does this one?" And she mentions one particular fighter, and goes, "Hey, does he fight for the UFC or MMA?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
yes."
Yes.
It's like saying, does he play in the NFL or for the San Diego Chargers? Like, well, yes, he's in both. So there's still such a huge moniker. People are like, well, the UFC is one sport and MMA is another sport. And it's not. It's all MMA, and there's different promotions in the UFC. So I had to go through the whole story of like, no, it's like boxing where there's other promotions underneath. It's just run a little bit differently. And like trying to explain to the casual fan, the UFC has done such a great job in their marketing that they can control everything because they have that ability to control everything because of their marketing machine.
Like you said, when you go to somewhere, and people always say, "Oh, you do UFC?" No, I do MMA, but I fight for the UFC.
Yeah,
and it just like you said, they market themselves to where they are they're considered the sport.
So with that being said, obviously the UFC is out of reach for everybody. Like they're as far as like promotions trying to compete with them, they're out of reach. The closest, of course, is Bellator because they have Viacom money coming over on Spike. Where do you position World Series of Fighting within the hierarchy? But also now that you're fighting for them, and so you've seen some of the inner workings from behind the scenes that most fans don't. Do you equate them to a Bellator, so in that B-level league, or are they more along the lines of an RFA, Titan, and now I think it's RFA Legacy now is combined.
I don't know enough about the other organizations. I mean, I started off in Bellator, then Strikeforce, and UFC. I didn't really do a lot of other promotions. I'm excited to be with the World Series. I'm glad they gave me an opportunity to come compete.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fight for them, and the business workings are just a little bit different for me, just because UFC they can't just tell you who you're fighting and when.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a total, like you don't have a whole list of options. You don't have this or that, or they don't really change it on you either unless someone gets hurt.
Right.
It's kind of like this is Joe was really big on you're fighting this when you're fighting this is who you're gonna fight, and either you're gonna take that fight or you're just not gonna fight.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry.
Which was fine for me, but it was always locked in. And I get it too. I mean, the World Series is still they're kind of a growing franchise or promotion. And they don't necessarily have the depth to get me a fight when they could have anyways initially.
Right.
You know, I mean, coming out of the UFC, I have a lot of fights.
Yeah.
You just remember a while back, I used to be a veteran. A newcomer to you.
Yeah.
But,
And that really wasn't that long ago. Like you were
no.
brand new on the scene, and we're literally talking about your Strikeforce days back in 2011. It wasn't like it was this is 20 years ago. You're now 18-7. You fought a crap ton of times since 2011. Like you have fought a crap ton, and
a lot of really tough guys.
And so it's got to be tough for them to find somebody to fight you.
And I can understand that. And you don't want to bring a new comer in and throw him in a title fight. You don't want to do all this. And again, I was coming off a loss on top of it.
Right.
So I understand the difficulty in that, but whatever. And they're bringing new guys in now. I think they have Josh Copeland. They have that Roshaw guy. They got some good guys coming in. And some other big hood guy. I don't know. I don't keep up with fighting that much.
Yeah.
But I've been watching these guys a little bit. Just trying to see who I was going to be able to fight. The promotion itself, I mean, these things are all just they're growing. They'll have to figure it out, you know. I mean, even Bellator, when I fought for them, was like a bunch of hiccups all the time.
Yeah,
a bunch of stuff changing. It's just the nature of it of these other associations. I mean, the UFC just has so much pull. They can tell you what and when.
Exactly.
And if something happens, they already have something to throw in there. It's not like, oh, I have to change the date on you though because I can't get a guy ready by the time.
Yeah.
And now these guys have to work around that obstacle, and I understand that. It's difficult for me as an athlete when I have to feed my family. So if I'm not fighting, I'm not making money.
It's a tough situation for fighters all the way around in any promotion. It's a tough situation for the promoters now because the way the new system is looking out, and now it's even getting harder for coaches because it's the same situation. You got, the big camps keep getting bigger because all the big name guys are at the big camps. Like Jackson Ricklejohn and ATT and Black Zillions and Couture, like they're all getting bigger because the best guys are there. So those coaches there make a decent living because they get a piece of everybody's ranks. The one guy that makes 2 and 2, the one guy makes 8 and 8, and the one guy that makes $2 million and $2 million. Like they all get a piece of that.
Yep.
And so it's very interesting to see how this is because what would John Kavanaugh be without Conor McGregor? He'd still be an amazing coach. He'd still be a great coach. Like without Conor McGregor, he's still an amazing coach. Very knowledgeable. Very, very. He's a fighter's coach. Like I've been around and watched him train his guys, and without Conor, he's just broke doing that.
Yeah.
It's like
and like you're saying, these camps grow. These camps grow so fast and so just constantly growing that because we travel, we fight, and during fights, we meet new coaches, we meet new people, we're friends,
Yeah.
And then you want to try it out. You want to say, well, no, okay, well, I met you over here, we fought already. You want to come help me? You want to come train for me for this fight? You want to come do this? And you get somewhere and you just fit in, or the fit's better.
Yeah.
Like I went to Top Team I was a Top Team because for Steve Mocco and those guys to train with and get ready for I think Mike Russo. Before that, I was at Jackson Winklejohn's with Travis and all those guys and John Jones and Coach Winklejohn's, in my opinion, still the best strength coach for me, and I loved him.
Yeah.
But just moving around, so if you guys keep moving and going places and jumping to new gyms, because we still have to learn. We have to learn new things and improve. And if you're with the same coach constantly, it's kind of hard because they know what you can do on this part. But I want to learn this now.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, man. It's got to, and that's one of the things too. It's that I believe in loyalty. Like I get the whole loyalty program, but you got to also start bringing in new guys, and you got to learn from different people. I mean, crap. Look at BJ Penn. He's been all over the place, and he's back at Jackson Winklejohn's right now training for his fight. And he was at Ruka down in Southern California for a long time. Plus, had his own place, over in Hilo. It's just like he has to bounce around now because he wants to be able to compete. You got to move to different people.
Absolutely.
So it's a tough, man. I'm glad I'm out of it. I'm glad all I do now is do interviews and wear the black shirt and go in there and ref. That's what I'm happy to do. And it's a headache to be fighting. I have enough problems with stunt work and acting. We're dealing with the rest of the crap that you got. So
I'm just lucky that I'm a pretty decent guy, to most people, so that I get along with everybody as much as possible, and I can go anywhere because I'm not gonna I don't hold any grudges. I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
You guys want to train? We'll train. I mean, you whip my ass. I whip your ass. Cool. We can be friends.
With me, it's the complete opposite. I rub everybody the wrong way. And I'm like, one time, man, that's it. We want you back. Like, no thanks. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on here. Thanks for taking some time off. I know you just dropped your kids off from school, and family time for you is really important. So I appreciate you spending the time with us. Good luck in the rest of your train camp, man. Have fun in this fight. I think for you, it's going to be an easy, winnable fight, but don't slip on a banana peel.
Oh, what happened, Blade? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Cut off for a second. I said this fight for you is a relatively easily winnable fight, but just don't slip on a banana peel out there.
I'll tell you what. Heavyweight. No fight's easy. we all have those big hands.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So.
Well, good luck, man. I appreciate you coming out here. We'll talk again soon.
Appreciate it. Have a good day, Frank.
You too.